We saw this coming. I wrote something about this yesterday. I wanted to make sure it was on my list of things to write about. It's like, look, no moment is too big for Jayden Daniels. He's calm. He's poised. Cliff Kingsbury last week said the moment he realized he was special was the Monday night game against the Bengals. Remember, that was the Star is Born night
Definitely
for Jayden Daniels, and he had other moments like that, the Hail Mary, even though there is a certain element of luck and also dumb stuff by the defense, he still threw the ball that became
Bought the time,
a win.
kept his cool in the pocket to let everybody get down there. Right. There's a little luck, of course, involved in that, certainly. But he has shown us that these moments they're nothing to him. And it doesn't ever seem like his blood pressure rises a whole lot. He doesn't seem to ever sweat it out. And, again, I'm just amazed by it all because he's a guy that's not supposed to do this. We've seen rookie quarterbacks have no success in the playoffs, really. That was a thing this weekend going into it. He goes on the road, wins it, and not only does that, it's not like it was like Mark Sanchez and the Jets where we ran and played defense. It's like they win it because of him. Right. Like, it's like we ride his shoulders. And in every big moment, we're not like, let's find a way to help our rookie quarterback. It's literally like, no, let's put our rookie quarterback in a spot that he can help us and drag us across the finish line. And that's where I'm truly just flabbergasted by Jayden Daniels.
From time to time, we'll talk about teams that aren't tested in the regular season. And when the postseason rolls around, you have to be concerned about whether or not they're going to respond when they find themselves in a tough spot. The flip side is the team that found itself tested all year long, that understands what it takes to end up with the most important stat of all, points scored versus points allowed, decided one game at a time, get more points than the other team. Here's both Dan Quinn, the coach of the Commanders, and Jayden Daniels talking about the belief when they're coming down the stretch in so many of these close games that they've had.
They have a lot of belief in one another. Jayden certainly is a big factor in that. I think if he had his heart rate monitor on in mind, they would not be the same in the game. And his stays pretty consistently good. And sometimes I'm like the duck. If you just saw the feet going under the water, it's good. But he really is into that space, exceptional.
That's just the brotherhood and that DQ. That DQ set, the brotherhood, the togetherness that we have within the locker room. Obviously, the people that have been around us, been in the locker room, we can see how close we are off the field. And we're always hanging around each other. Everybody gets along with each other. So I think those moments, when times get tough, we fall back on those type of moments.
Yeah, you come together. There aren't any bad relationships that get in the way. They feel like they need to support each other. You don't want to let your brother down. That's all real. And that's a credit to Quinn for coming in there and resetting the culture. And I don't know how much of a chance Ron Rivera ever had to set a culture because he was putting out fires under Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate middle finger to Dan Snyder by the franchise.
Pretty much,
look,
right
we
away.
get you out of here, and look how quickly we can turn this thing around. Everything changes.
Right.
They're tearing down RFK Stadium. Maybe we'll build a new one there. You couldn't get a new stadium. We're going to get one, and it becomes easier to get one when the team is good. We drafted a quarterback with the second overall pick that we didn't have the mortgage of the future to trade up for, and here we are, and look how good he is, and, even better, dare I say, than RG3 as a rookie.
I think so.
And more promise, more potential for growth.
More NFL ready this moment, throwing the ball, all that.
$100 million in cap space for next year.
Right.
When we did our awards last week, we made Adam Peters the first-year GM, the executive of the year, and I looked at their free agent signings, and it's like, other than Frankie Louvu,
no big splash ones.
And 80% of them are starters.
Right.
So, they've held this together with just whatever they could find, turned the roster over as best they could, and now they have a chance. And there was a report during the season that really felt like somebody doing a favor for a colleague because what's the guy's name? Bob Myers.
Yeah.
The ESPN basketball analyst who was involved in putting this thing together, and he's still there at the games with Josh Harris. It just felt like, agents want
things
their
are great.
players. Players want to go. They all want to go here.
Right.
You know what? They got $100 million to spend. They got Jayden Daniels. other players are going to watch this. This is the time of year that's going to convince guys. Not October.
Right.
This is the time of year that's going to convince guys, let's go. This is where I want to go. All things equal, this is where I want to go. Somebody else wants to pay me a lot more. I'm not going to say no to that. But you want to break the ties in free agency without having to spend. And they're going to be in position to do that. You put the same offer on the table from two different teams, and there's going to be more guys that want to go play with Jayden Daniels. Rather play with him than play against him.
They created a destination spot, 100% in that. Adam Peters has done a phenomenal job. I think a phenomenal job. One, he has the eye, right? He's been in San Francisco and knows the psychos in a good way that we always laugh about. They'll run through a wall in a second. Dan Quinn's also been around those type of guys in Seattle and had that in Atlanta. And we know, I think they have a good cohesive unit. A lot of the guys you talked about were guys that Dan Quinn were with in Dallas last year, who I'm sure he was like, Adam, this guy's better than you think. So, kudos to both of them making it work and getting the right people there that fit the scheme, the culture, all of that. And then we've seen Dan Quinn, he can create a culture of excitement and we're coming for you. Again, whether he was in Seattle as a D coordinator and doing that, or what we saw in Atlanta when they went to the Super Bowl and how they were there. I know it fell apart at the end, but still, when vibes were high, they believed that things were going, and they've done that again, and that's really awesome. And then I think when you put that on top of the other aspect you brought of Jayden Daniels, like he talked about, it's very real in a locker room. I've been a part of locker rooms like that. One year, the year we lost to Washington, we were down 17-0 in that playoff game. We had 6 fourth-quarter comebacks coming into that game. When we got down 17-0, we were like, it's okay. We'll be okay. And we never blinked. We had that belief. Now, we ended up losing the game, but, we scored a touchdown. The ball got dropped in the end zone and all that. But there is a belief and a real tangible thing where we, like you said, we've been here. Don't panic. Don't go chasing right now. Don't try to get it all back on one play. We can do that, and that's where they're scary next week, because you feel like if they hang around, they're going to be like, so what? We've been doing this all year, to the point you're making.
And that's the message to the Detroit Lions,
right,
who will now host the Commanders and got to watch that last night, and maybe at some level say, and they're never going to say publicly, uh-oh, but privately they got to be thinking, uh-oh,
right,
we got to defend Jayden Daniels. We got to deal with this offense that can surgically, strategically chew up 9 minutes and go 92 yards on 17 plays and keep Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta and Jamison Williams on the sideline, and then put more pressure on them
right,
when they're on the field. And that's, when you're down and you start to get wobbly, the next thing you know, you make a mistake, and a one-score game is a two-score game. A two-score game is a three-score game, and it's over. The dam can break quickly. We talk about this all the time. When you're down 14, you're only down 2.
Right.
When you're up 14, you're only up 2. But those 7, the end result, like 31-9 last Sunday night,
right,
it wasn't that bad, but it got that bad.
It gets bad. Well, and then what happens in those moments too is you start to panic and you start to press.
Yeah.
And you start to go, oh gosh, we're down. And maybe you force something that you wouldn't do if you were just down a score or a field goal or whatever. And then what makes it double time in the playoffs is that, oh wait, we're going to go home. So that adds to that pressure. Who can handle it? But your point and your thing when you're saying about Washington too, the way they control the ball is unreal. That's the biggest thing. We've seen a few teams this year do this. Miami was a little like this. I think we're about to see the Houston Texans become this, and what we saw on Saturday. I think you've heard me use this phrase, ball control passing offense. It's like a new thing in the NFL, and Washington has perfected it. So, yeah, they're not a great run in the football team. They're not the type of team that you could sit there and just go, they're going to run it up the middle on you at will whenever they want. And I know they're the number 3 rushing offense in football, but that's a lot because of Jayden Daniels' ability to run and scrambles and all that. I'm just talking about pure running back and do it up the middle. We're not looking at them going, oh, this is the Cowboys of the mid-'90s. Certainly not. So they use a lot of their short passing game and him being surgical and doing all that, and he is so precise and accurate that the ball rarely hits the ground. They keep the clock running, and they wear you out that way, and that's where they're going to be a real pain in the ass and put pressure on you in the playoffs.
But just think about what they'll be in the future when they get that guy.
I know. Right.
When they
They'll be able to do
address
whatever they
the
want.
needs, when they get even better,
right.
and Jayden Daniels gets even better as he gets more and more experience. So, yeah, next Saturday's game between the Commanders and the Lions, if the Lions don't knock them out, this is the kind of team where you have got to knock them out. Knock them out. 17-24, I don't know. But if you keep it close, they keep it close, and they're going to find a way. They have the faith that they'll find a way to come back and beat you. It all came down to that field goal, though, that went off the inside of the upright and fell through. Here's Dan Quinn talking about watching that game-winning field goal from Zane Gonzalez.
I felt like I was in a Bounty commercial, where the cup spills, and like it hit, and as it went through, I kind of just paused and probably skipped a beat. But that's honestly the emotion where it was at to go. We put it on the left, but was thankful, obviously, to knock it through. But it was definitely a long 8-9 seconds field goal.
And I was going to say this at the beginning because so much happens once we come on the air. Do we have the clip of Zane Gonzalez coming out? He was messing with his hair.
I wanted to be like, first off, your hair's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
What are you
you're
worried
putting
about?
a helmet on.
And,
now he had
his
an
hair's
issue.
short. It's like, where are you moving it?
He had an issue with his
Here it
sock and his
goes.
shoe.
Look at it, look
Yeah,
at
it's like, what
Let
the
me
hell?
move it over. It's like it's a
and
buzz
it didn't
cut, man.
move.
I know.
He puts his hand through it twice. It doesn't move.
Another
Well, let's
3
just make
times.
sure.
That's
But
5,
that's
6,
just-
7, 8.
It's the process. I've got a process. This is my process for dealing with the nerves because
Rub
I know I'm
the
going to have to
chia pet.
live through that moment. That ball, though, when I saw that ball going to the upright, at first I'm thinking, oh, it's going to make it through before it hits. It's going to make it through before it hits. Holy cow, it hit. Where's it going? When it comes off like that, look, right through it. Now,
Hit
it
the
wasn't
net. That's
close.
crazy.
It wasn't close.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it live, you have no
Of course.
idea where
you
it's
can't
going.
see the depth really of where everything is at exactly. It's incredible way to win a playoff game on a Sunday night, certainly on the road, do that. The big moments, I think that's the thing we get to. In the big moments, Washington just seems to make the play in these games. And whether it was their offense, the other thing we have to talk about, though, is what their defense did a little too on the drive before that. Because Tampa went down the field and had a chance to really they were on the cusp of, they might score a touchdown here. They had 2nd and 1 at the 12-yard line. And Washington's defense bucked up, and I believe the first one, Baker might have dropped back to pass, or I can't even remember.
He ended up going up the middle for no gain, so he tried to run.
Or it was a quick pass, right? And he tried to go up the middle and got tackled for no gain.
Bobby Wagner got him for no gain.
Right, so that
3rd
was
and 1, they stuffed Bucky Irving.
Yeah, they try to run to the right. Bucky's got nothing. That was, again, you talk about the fumble exchange between Baker Mayfield and Bobby Wagner getting the recovery, and then this right here on the next drive to go down, hey, we could tie the game, but we could go up and maybe go up where you have to score a touchdown on our defense, let alone if they get the first down right there, you're going, probably another 2 minutes off the clock at the very least. We'll see where that goes. But again, the defense shows up. Dan Quinn dials up the right thing on that side of the ball, and they make the play and create chaos and get a tackle for a loss on 3rd and 1.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.
So pleased to have you along. This should be a good one. We're set, and off we go here on EA Sports. On the return, here comes Cordero Patterson. And they'll bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Now a first carry for the Alabama product, Najee Harris. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. On 1st down, right back to Harris. And he'll get forward for a couple. It's 2nd down. They'll give it to Harris again. And they're going to work this down inside the 45. Another run here with Harris. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's second down. They're going to run out of the gun, and here's Harris. He'll pop this ahead for about 4, but it will set up third down. Out of the gun, here's Russ. That is hot! And he will get into the end zone. Calvin Austin. Touchdown, Steelers. Chris Boswell on for the point after. It's up and good. And the Steelers will take a 7-0 lead. Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. This kick is fielded in the end zone, but no move to bring it out. It's touchback, and that ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Right to the air goes Daniels. They try to set up the screen, but this one doomed from the start. It's incomplete. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, it's Daniels. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing third down. Luke McCaffrey, the intended receiver. Now it's going to be third down. From the shotgun on third down, Daniels. 15-yard pickup there. First down, Washington.
And this is what you can do when you have one of the best receivers in the game. You understand that even if the coverage is not perfect for the play call, sometimes it's just as simple as my guy is better than your guy, and we're going to just keep giving him a chance.
Off he goes.
Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. A final shot before break. Daniels slings this deep from McLaurin. And got his man complete. He's to the 15. And he's in for the touchdown.
Because it is so simple. It's something that these two have done and thrown together for years and years. Maybe not to each other, but since Pop Warner. They've been running the go route. Just run right by him, and if you're even, you're leaving, and I'm going to drop it right over the top.
Now to throw. And the conversion is no good as that pass falls incomplete.
Going to be a little armchair quarterback after that call. Looked like the defense knew exactly what was coming.
Well, time making this all but impossible, but they're going to try for the onside kick here anyway. And this is going to be covered up by the Commanders. That should just about lock up the win. Washington finishes the return to the end zone. Touchdown! The Commanders picked up the fumble and ran it home.
He gets it to go, and the Commanders will move out to a 14-7 lead. Seibert now following the touchdown. He's out to kick it away. And we'll see a return here from his own end zone. Not much on the return. They'll stop him at the 17. Boy, some bulk in the formation on that right side here for 1st and 10. A play fake. Now it's he fumbled the football. And the defense has it. And there it is. The defense comes up with the big...
Robinson will score. Touchdown, Commanders. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long, because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense, because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
All right, now a big two-point conversion attempt still to come. Daniels going to try and throw for it. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Oh, no, he lost the football. And he will get into the end zone, and a two-point conversion will cut this down to a 6-point game.
Here's Eckler. And he's brought down for a loss. The Commanders in the hurry-up. They're hustling for the line. To throw. That's complete. Here's Brown. And they bring him down. Looks like he got it to the 27. Here he is to throw. Someone got a piece of that downfield throw, but it is caught anyway. And that's a Washington touchdown. So there's part one, Brock. They get the touchdown that they desperately needed. Now, you'd imagine, comes a try for 2.
Yeah, and this might be just as tough as to go get that touchdown they just did, because, well, they work on two-point conversions, but they're difficult.